Okay, so yeah, the question was, do you mind making a video investing 101, what to look out for when purchasing stocks, channels to use to purchase, what to consider in diversifying, and so on? Hmm. Okay. I think let me start with this one. Where do I use? So recently, the what's it called now? The Maybaker I bought it on Bamboo because I'm trying to test out what their interface looks like, and it's pretty fair. But mostly, I use Meristem for where to purchase. But you can find other people online. You can find different stockbrokers online. Um, there are a lot of them that also have apps now, so they're trying to make it more fun and more, intuitive and all that stuff. What to consider in diversifying and what to look out for when purchasing. Okay, so real quick, what do I look out for when I'm purchasing? Well, I look at my personal goals. What stock is it? The numbers, very important. I think it's because of the numbers that people get like put off because they're thinking, oh, I'm not going to do any analysis or numbers are boring and blah, blah, blah. Dividends for me, this varies for people. Some people look for capital appreciation. So dividend is basically the company makes 100 billion this year and they say, okay, for every we're going to give out 50 kobo for every share, right? So if you own 10,000 units, they give you 50 kobo per unit for each one you own. But some people will be like, no, I just want something that the price is 2 naira today and it's going to go to 4 naira tomorrow so I can sell. So capital appreciation, it differs for people. Let me actually just put that here. It differs for people and common sense. So I put common sense here because trust me, this thing is not as common as you think. So let's quickly run through some stuff. So personal goals, who am I, income, risk tolerance, and what are my goals, right? So personal goals, what do you want to invest for? Why are you investing? Income, how much are you actually earning? Like I said, this portfolio was put together from just 16,000 naira a month. So you might have more money at your disposal, which is good. But I would always advise if you invest, if before you invest, save so that you're not like actually investing to live. So it's more like a passive thing. Risk tolerance. So I always give the example of my mom and I are different. So my mom, for instance, she would buy a stock today, and if it goes down tomorrow, she's dragging me by my legs. Like what's going on, right? But for me, I'm thinking long term, so I could buy a stock today, like with Nestle now. My risk tolerance is high because I'm young and it's a long term thing. So these kind of things vary for people. How flexible are you? Is your heart the type that does bim bim, right? So if you buy something at 5 naira and it goes down to 4 naira, can you hold and say, you know what, it's going to go back up? Or are you the type that you start sweating, you start panicking? And then what are your goals really? So for me, like I said, dividend investment. So this is long term. I'm hoping to get to a point that this can now be like maybe if I'm making 1 million naira a year from dividends, then I'm sorted, right? So it depends on your goals. Some people are saving for school fees or investing or whatever. So again, it depends on your goals. What stock is it? Now, this one, what stock is it? Well, what company is it? Is it a bank? Is it an agricultural firm? Is it an insurance company? Who are they? What do they do? How good is their leadership team? That's very important. How good are they at what they do? So you remember I mentioned before about Tony Elumelu. So that's part of like a leadership team. You look at Dangote, you look at Otedola with First Bank and stuff. So you have to look at who is in charge. Are they good at what they do? How strong? Do I believe in them? Do I believe in their vision? All those kind of things matter with stocks, right? So, like I mentioned, dividend for me, do they pay dividends? How often do they pay? How much do they pay? Dividend yield ratios. That's getting into numbers. But basically, if you buy a stock for 50 naira and they're going to pay you back 5 naira, that's good. But what if there's a stock that you buy 100 naira but they pay you back 25 naira? So you see that you get more, right? So 25 divided by 100, that's one quarter, but 5 divided by 50, that's 1 over 10. So you look at all these kind of things when you're investing, right? How much do they pay? In the portfolio, I was mentioning about Okomo paying interim. So some companies will pay twice a year. Some companies will pay once a year. So all these things matter. Some people who might not be investing for dividends, you just look at it and you're like, I just want my money to go up. That's different. There are some companies that don't pay dividends, but there's capital appreciation. Again, it's up to you, really. And then common sense analysis, right? So news, what is happening? Is everybody buying? Like I mentioned with the May Baker, right? So I looked at the news. Okay, they are building a new factory, they're adding new products, means revenues might probably go up. They're focusing on, cough syrup, all those kind of things. That led my decision, right? So you have to look into the news. You have to look at what is the competition doing, right? So for instance, when GT brought out, I think it was this mobile money thing, right? Star 737. It was groundbreaking at the time. So it really shot up their stock and all that kind of stuff. So again, this kind of things sort of matter. So you can look into that when you're investing. Is everybody buying? Is now the right time to buy? That's a very important point, actually, because um, sometimes everybody might be buying because it's just in vogue. You have to look at the fundamentals, right? And ensure that you're not just following a trend. Is something happening, or is this just another everybody's buying, so let me also buy type of vibe? So common sense analysis, that's just what that is. Be very careful. Then again, news, election cycles, death of a key figure. We saw what happened with Access Bank recently. Did the stock market react? Yes. But do they trust in the management team? Yes. How did Access navigate it? They brought back their former chairman. So all these kind of things matter, right? Election cycles. We saw what happened with, I believe it is Oando. Enough said, have you? But yeah, you saw what happened with Oando and whatever is going on now. So you have to be careful with all these things. You have to look at, news and election cycles and all that kind of stuff. They matter. And then finally, numbers. I think you can't run away from numbers. So try and read financial statements. I'm not saying like read it like an accountant, because I think it puts people off a lot. But, 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 read them, man. Read them. Really and truly read them. Just look at like how much money came in, how much are they spending, how much was the profit, how much was the personnel expense, how much, like, look at the simple stuff, right? How much did they make? How much did they spend? How much did they keep? If you look at those three all the time, then you can now compare, okay, how much did they make this year compared to last year? Is it going up? Is it going down? How much did they spend this year compared to last year? Is it going up? Is it going down? So if you keep that kind of thing like simple, it will give you an idea, right? So for instance, I just put here, Access Bank made 2.5 trillion, GT 1.1, Zenith 2.1 trillion, right? But at the end of it all, profit after tax, you see that Access only had 619 billion, while GT had 539 billion, Zenith has 676. So from this, you can already see that, GT is making stupid money, because at the end of the day, though they brought in only 1 trillion, they kept what, 539 of it, 539 billion, right? That's about half. So look at this kind of things. They do help. I'm not trying to go in depth into this kind of analysis, but these are just some simple things that you can use to make sure, like, you sort of have an idea of what you're buying and why. Just look at the simple numbers. It puts people off. I know people get bored and all that kind of stuff, but pay attention to them. So I hope that answers that person. But yeah, see you guys in the next video.